Okay, everybody, it's a nice Sunday or Saturday morning in June here at Mount Holly Airport. I'm going to take my Supercub for a flight. I have a couple questions. You know, it's for sale. I had a couple questions on different how it flies, etc., etc. I'm going to see if I can answer some of those as I'm out flying. Still for sale, and still looking for offers. And so I'll kind of go through everything as I get in the plane and let you know how I particularly fly it. I'm not a flight instructor, far be it from it. So anything I say, take with a grain of salt. I'm only talking about my particular airplane and what it can do, and all from there. So let's go flying. Okay, everybody. So basically, start it. That's standard carbureted engine. I do 3 pumps. 1, 2, 3 pumps of the prime. Make sure it's locked. Mixture goes in. Battery goes on. And crack the throttle just a little bit. Yell clear, clear.
And it fires up just like that. I'll go back onto the headphones. And crack the throttle just a little bit. Yell clear, clear.
Can you hear me? I hope you can. Had to get rid of the hearing. They don't work very well. So what I'm doing now is I'm turning on, connecting the GDL 39 to the 796. It connected. That connects it. On here. I start my cloud ahoy. It's kind of fun. Firing the good enough. And then I keep my flight running too. It's kind of nice to have it double out like that. Got that set. Field elevation right here is 800 feet. MSL. Tighten up my seatbelts. You have to put the nav lights on because the nav light is what does the ADS-B. And, you know, if you have ADS-B, you can't fly without the ADS-B on. So the nav lights always have to be on. Checking my frequency, 122.7. That's common traffic frequency here at Mount Holly Airport, Peoria, Illinois. It's 55 degrees out right now. It's a little chilly, so I have everything kind of wrapped up here till I can gets a little bit warmer. Then I'll probably open up one of the windows. You can fly with the windows open, the door down. Not a problem with that. I imagine I don't get above cruise speed but that's kind of how we do. Check my camera here, make sure that's working. Move that over there. Does have Electronics International temperature gauge, cylinder head, and exhaust gas temperature. That's great. Trig, comm, and a trig transponder. The comm, the only squawk I have is every so often you turn it on, and there's a continual receive to it. If anybody knows what that is, it happens about once every 6-8 months or so, and I have no idea what it is. I think it has something to do with humidity and something or other, some connection somewhere, but I don't know why that does it. It's such an infrequent problem, almost impossible to get used to infrequent problems. I'm tucking my shorts in so they don't get caught on the flap handle when I'm going. That's a little habit. There's no wind, which is great. I don't fly it. I mean, I fly for fun, so I don't fly it much over a 10-mile-an-hour direct crosswind. No, I mean I have, but it's not nice to go out and practice with that. And the reason why I'm selling it, of course, I'm getting a Carbon Cub FX3. That should be delivered in a couple weeks. It's June 10th. I'm hoping by the end of June, 4th of July, it shows up. All right, so we'll do our check, controls. Make sure they're going the right way. No leprechaun came in and switched it while I wasn't looking. Instruments, we'll go to 800 feet. Got that, 122.7. Got that, I got volts, I got minimal temperature there. That's good. My oil temp is still in the yellow, it's about 100. So it'll warm up pretty quick today. That I did not preheat the plane because it's 55 degrees. It does have a Tannis preheat system. And it comes with a quilted cover for that Tannis. Gas. I usually keep it about 3/4 full. I'm just out buzzing about, doodling about. Attitude, over to change that, that's still there. Both over there, you always check that. And then the run up, I go about to 1800 RPM. Right, both, left. No drop there. R-beat. Excellent. There's about 100, it usually drops between about 100, 125. I'm kind of particular about making sure that's all checked. And safety. Don't see any. Here at Mount Holly, when there's no wind, we take off to the north. We're going to go over to Tri-County Airport today. Tri-County is just west of Yates City, Illinois. It's probably about a 20-minute flight, 15-minute flight. I always throw in one-notch flaps, are the P-stole flaps, stole flaps, airframes Alaska. For my goals. Don't see anybody. Okay. Weird going on. We're center up. Alrighty. And stick forward, tail comes up, and the mains pop off, like that. Level it out. At 60, the flaps come up, and we can climb out. At about 1,000 foot a minute at if I would have let it run up a little or spool up a little bit better on the ground, it would have probably, it gets up about 1,200 foot a minute. Level off right about here. About 500 feet above the ground. That's like cool. That's cool. Like that. Come back to 2,500 RPM. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And that's about right for leaning it out for just farting around here. Checking my oil pressure, that looks good. The temperature is just into the green right now. I knew that was about going to happen. We're all good. Trim a little bit nose down there. I added some smoke oil to the back there at the end of last flight. And the smoke is in the back in where the battery compartment used to be. There we are. Oh, go down a little bit. So flies hands off, just fantastic. Nothing. I mean, my feet are flat now too on the floor, so no hands, no feet. There you go. And no hands, no feet, just cruising along here. 1500 MSL. About 800 foot above the ground. I think we'll make sure we don't go up higher there. Trim it down just more there. So yeah, I'm just kind of hanging on here. It's all good. The plane has no weird tendency. I'm going to kind of go over a little bit, steer with my feet a little, get on heading for that. Upright the wing there. It appears to be headed straight for Tri-County. Trim it down a little more. Beauty. Yeah, so it's a beautiful morning. There's obviously there's no wind. It's dead calm out and very, very. We're supposed to get some rain later today, and that's that. Good time to have a little coffee. There's no coffee hold, so get yourself a good Yeti. A good Yeti that you can leave closed and on the back seat. I seatbelt the Yeti in the back. That's kind of the way I go. Still trying to climb out, trim it down a little more. Yeah, so all our instruments are good. We got about 14 volts. We're scanning, so 1300 for 1400 for my EC. You can step through and get cylinder head temperature. There we go. There we go. Yeah, about 300. That usually runs about 325. One cylinder, 2, 3, 4. The back ones, of course, a bit more. Put it back to scan. Always remember to close your Yeti. I definitely like it seatbelted in. All right, see, we're doing climbing a little bit. Head straight over to Tri-County. And the GDL3 796 here, Garmin 796, of course, comes with the plane, as does the Lightspeed headsets. The Lightspeed headsets are a little sticky. Something went on with the plastic or whatever, and they had a problem. They're about 8 years old. So, but for the new plane, I got some Bose, but these are just fine. They work great. Now it's getting a little warmer. Got great airflow from these little vents that are here. Just beautiful plane. Normally when I'm cruising around, I'm at about 2,500 RPM. My fuel burn at 2,500 RPM, just kind of cruising around, is probably about 8.5 gallons an hour with that. I'm sure I could lean it more and get cheaper with it and all that. But for the most part, I'm going from one airport to another airport. So, you know, I'm just out here flying for fun. It's kind of like if you had a Harley and it had wings, and you're just out on a Saturday morning for your Harley ride. That's what it is. You have no place to go. You're out there just outside, and that's kind of what this is all about here. But the visibility in the back is just amazing. Let me I'll run a little video here and link it in. And from my point of view, right at head level, this is my horizon view, which is just absolute, just tremendous visibility. I think I sit higher in this plane than maybe most Super Cubs. I have no idea why. She helps me out quite a bit here. Now we're going over the big town of Elmwood, Illinois now. And again, I'm just kind of hanging here, sitting here. It's almost as if there's an autopilot. But again, that's because it's totally calm out. But you get an idea the plane will go completely straight when it's totally calm. Any deviations to your flight path are definitely going to be from any type of thermal or convective activity. And it does have a light wing loading. I don't know what it is off the top of my head, but it's really not pleasant to go flying in the middle of the day in July. It's kind of like you're churning butter with it. Tri-County traffic, Supercub 87875 is 5 miles east, be landing runway 20, Tri-County. Tri-County is right off my nose. It's 2 Charlie 6 if you're looking for it on the sectional. Think about a Super Cub. This is a 1954 Super Cub, and it was built for smaller people. So if you are 6'5", 250 pounds, I guarantee you this is not the plane for you. It's built for somebody probably about 160, 170 pounds, well under 6 foot tall would be the ideal, and then it performs like it's supposed to. It was really built for people from the early 1950s. You know, they weren't supersized as they are now. The Carbon Cub is 4 inches wider than this plane. You can definitely tell. There's not a lot of room on the sides here for cup holders or anything like that. If you were taller, your knees would be right up against there. I'm 5'11", about 190 pounds. And right off my left wing is Tri-County Airport. And in my best pilot voice, I'll announce where we're at here. Tri-County traffic, Supercub 87875 is upwind for runway 20. We'll be crossing midfield for a overhead approach to runway 20, Tri-County. Yeah, looking at the windsock, it's pretty much needs some Viagra. So that's cool. If it's a windsock, that's the way you want it to be. Tri-County traffic, Supercub 87875 is crossing midfield, Tri-County. And right about here, I'll bring the power back. Or I'll bring the carpet down, I should say. Start slowing it down. I usually put the first notch of flaps on at about 70. About where we're at. And I turn base to final. Tri-County traffic, Supercub 87875, turning base to final, runway 20, Tri-County.
100.
I try to get it right about 60 miles an hour here, pull the power back, turn in final. I wait to put on the full flap, that last notch on short final. They're very effective. And you, of course, can go around with them, but it's not the funnest event around with them. Now's a good time to put the full flaps on, and it'll go to 50 miles an hour easily, unless you pitch down a little bit with it. And then you come in just like that. Do a crappy wheel landing. Track's really nice and true. So if you're doing a wheel landing like that, then you're going to use up a lot of real estate. But big crest runway like pretty cool. So we'll go around. We'll do a little full stall. We'll do a three-point landing after this. Tri-County traffic, Supercub 87875 is back taxiing runway 20, Tri-County. Make sure you keep your pants tucked in on the flap lever. It has the shortened flap handle, which is an STC. When you at the P-stole flaps, you can get a legal shortened flap handle. I'll show you a little bit more about that. We're ground back at Mount Holly. Molly traffic, Supercub 87875, departing runway 20, closed traffic, Tri-County. So I got that in, I got my notch of flaps on. We are all ready to rock. Tail comes up. Mains come up. And there we are. Build up a little airspeed till I get to 60. Put the flaps up. Cruise along here a little bit, get some speed, and then go up to my ideal climb is 70 miles an hour. Everything's in miles an hour on the plane. And you see at 70 miles an hour, we are at 1,400, 1,300 foot a minute, which is about right. Power back a little bit. Tri-County traffic, Supercub 87875, downwind runway 20, Tri-County. Okay, we'll try to do a 3-point, kind of go with that. Beautiful morning, a little hazy, but pull our carb heat on. Carb box was done by Rupert Aviation. Tri-County traffic, Supercub 87875 is turning base, Tri-County. I gotta slow this bad boy down, yeah. 70, pitch for 70, pull on the notch of flaps. Tri-County traffic, Supercub 87875 is turning final, runway 20, Tri-County. At about 60. Now you can go ahead and pull full flap, drag it in, but a little stressful and it's giant grass. So right about here, I'm going to put my full flaps in. It'll quickly track to 50. Got tremendous over the nose visibility here. So and that's your basic 3-point line. Now, if you want to get really slow and drag it, your landings could probably be about 200-300 feet. You know, I'm not stow pilot. I like doing that, but if the runway's shorter than about 800 feet, you got to have a good reason, you know, to get there, a giant moose antler or something like that. But for fun, relaxing, out flying around, it's perfect. Tri-County traffic, Supercub 87875, departing runway 20, closed traffic, Tri-County. Nose goes, tail comes up, nose comes up, woohoo! Get to 60, take the flaps off, pitch for 70, best rate of climb speed, pitching for 70, getting 70. You see we're about 1,300 foot a minute at that rate of climb. Power back a little bit, do a little bit of a turn here. Square it up a little bit. Go back to 2,500 RPM. Next one, I'll go ahead and I'll drag the field. I'll touch and drag. So basically, it's a wheel landing that you keep the power on. So so if you're going someplace and what's the field like, we'll just kind of we'll drag the field for this one. Tri-County traffic, Supercub 87875 is based final, touch and go, Tri-County. Pitch for 70.
500.
Take the last notch on. And track's really, really nice. So if you're dragging something, I mean, it's really nice how it tracks and drags. Just real smooth. Right about here, I'm going to hit my bump. $60. It's always good to put your carburetor heat off. Too worried about talking to the camera than flying the airplane. That's a bad thing. Tri-County Traffic Supercub 87875 is based on final. Runway 20, touch and go, Tri-County. Pitching for 70.
500.
Down to 60. Pull the big boys. Sometimes you put your smoke on just so it looks cool. And then we go. Flaps up, pitch up. Is in this time, and we're climbing at pitching for 70, and we're getting up to about our 1,300 foot a minute climb rate again. The old engine, the engine that I had before, the A2B, the 150 horsepower, you get about 1,000 foot a minute out of it with the bore prop. Tri-County Traffic Supercub 87875 is downwind runway 20, Tri-County. Yeah, so what we'll do this time is another full stop landing or full stall landing, a 3-point landing, and then I'll turn around, take off, and we'll do a little more flying around the area. Got 70, notch. Head down to 60. Pull the big boys. See it all. It just, as soon as you pull those, you get to 50 real great. There we are in short final at 50. Coming back, coming back. And of course it has heel brakes. Dave is the owner of the airport, is a real nice guy. He's got this like as short as a fairway. It's pretty awesome. All right. Tri-County traffic, Supercub 87875, departing runway 20 Tri-County. 60, flaps go up. Pitch for 70. Not quite carbon cub, but it is about there. All right, this is a smaller little field. I got distracted. I'm heading to a small field near Knoxville, Illinois. It's not listed or anything. A guy flies as an ultralight out of his farm. Well, not an ultralight, it's an avid flyer. Last I saw him, I haven't seen him in about 5 years. He was a little older, so hope he's okay. Pull the big boy flaps down a little bit here. Pull back, gets brakes on, flaps, good. All right, ready to rumble. Repeat this time for downwind for King Airfield, private, restricted, but I had talked to them. Now we'll start pulling back some power. There are some wires in this, so it's going to appear that I'm landing long, but it's so I can avoid wires. Got the first notch of flaps on. And I won't pull the flaps until we're over the wire, basically. And I may even do a little slip over the wires. Now, got the flaps, flip, back to a nice wheel. Flaps go up. Car peats in. All right, ready to rock and roll. Got my 60, pitch up. see if we can do a little river running. Kind of hard to see this time of the year, because the trees kind of block out the Spoon River. But we can have a little river running. It's pretty fun. I don't like to get too low because there are wires. Thinking so, as long as I stay above the trees, there's not enough room anyway.
Terrain, terrain, pull up, pull up.
I really need to shut Bitch and Betty up when I'm doing this.
Thank you.
Okay, this next one is by Spring Bay, Illinois, between Spring Bay and Metamora, on the east side of the river. And we'll make this one the last stop of the day before we land back at Mount Holly. It's kind of a fun one. It's in a little bit of a valley here. We will be taking off over some trees. I'll take off to the south. It appears I have pretty good south wind now. It's kind of picked up a little bit. We'll be landing to the south at Mount Holly. So, again, we'll pop on the carb heat and get us slow to about 70.
500.
Put on that notch flaps. Got us down around 6 here. I can feel it now. And now we'll put on the full big boys. Bit of a slip here. There we go. Now we're a little better. That was to show you how the AOSS, you can just kind of drop it in. It has much more bounce than the Acme's, but way less than the the bungees, standard bungees. And I'm going to open up the window at this point. It's a little chilly down here in the valley, but it was getting a little toasty up there. So, alrighty, let's rumble. And as we levitate out of the valley, when the window's open, the person in the back seat has to really watch their mic because it'll open the mic, even though I got covers on it. It'll still do that.
Decal traffic, Skyhawk, just east of the airport, can overfly runway 20. We're going to cross midfield runway 27 and enter the downwind for runway 27, decal.
Monitor traffic, Supercub 87875 is downwind runway 18 Mount Holly.
Mount Holly traffic station 872. I have you on site.
Mount Holly traffic, Supercub 87875, return to base to final runway 18 Mount Holly. Okay, so we're ending up back at Mount Holly.
Traffic.
And whenever possible, I do indeed like to land in the grass. And we can land in the grass beside the runway.
And traffic holding short of 27 now. We see you can proceed if you like, and we'll...
Saves the tires, just landing in the grass.
And there you have it. We'll get some fuel and then go back to the hangar and show you a few more things about the airplane. Okay, I'm going to give you a little tour of the plane. I was asked if there's any blemishes or anything like that on it. I'll point out a few of the things that that I see and kind of go with it from there. Okay, I just got done flying, so there's some bugs on it. What I found out with bugs is the best thing to get bugs off is distilled water, believe it or not, on a rag. So distilled water. No real blemishes. Occasionally, you know, you got a screw that doesn't match because when the boot collar was put on, the screws were painted with it. But if one comes loose or comes out, you put it on. I suppose you could touch it up. But otherwise, that's about that. There might be a little wear on the leather here. I think you could make the back seat a lot warmer if I actually just put some weather stripping here, but I just never got around to it. The flap handle, a little bit harder. Down here where the flap handle is, it's a shortened flap handle, so I've got an extension that Dan Biker at Biker Aviation kind of welded up for me. And so when you pull the first notch, you just go like that and it clicks. You don't have to press the button or anything. And getting the last notch, same thing. You just pull back like that. Now to get rid of the flaps, what you do is you hold here, take the ball of your thumb, push down, boom, goes all the way down. So that makes it a lot easier. Go like that. Next one, go like that. And then to get rid of them, go like that. So you don't have to push down on that to get that to go. You just click it and click it. Now the ratchet I have in there, there's a ratchet down there. I don't know if you can see it. There's a ratchet down there. And I have a couple of ratchets there. And each one of them has that little notch that's carved in it. And that notch is the degrees of flaps. I have one that has 3 notches, and it's super easy to change it out if you wanted to. These flaps go a little less than the full 55 degrees or whatever craziness it is with that, because they're just incredible to pull. So if you're going to do some stall, I've got the ratchet for you with that. But everything looks good on the panel. Nothing too odd there. There's no real blemishes. I got my little girl. She does not go with the airplane. She's going to have to stay with me. I'm kind of attached to her, so my hula girl has to go with me. You can have my fuzzy dice. I've got a yellow pair for the new plane, so you can have my fuzzy dice with that. But the everything is good. You know, you get a little wear around where the door comes up and all that. Pull these back down again. There's the smoke switch over there for the smoke. It's right next to the throttle to put the smoke on and off. And like I said, the light speed headsets can come with it. I really don't need them anymore. They're fine. They have they have a little boot on them to help with the wind noise when the door or window is open. The back seat, I've tried all different types of things for the back seat with the door and the window open. It tends to open up even a Bose there. I have, my son has a Bose, and I'm switching over to Bose, but that they tend to open up the mic even still. Let's see, otherwise just some bugs here and there with all that. The restoration was pretty good. Maybe they have a few little paint deals, and then when Dan Biker did the flaps, he cleaned up a little bit of that over there. But you can see that's quite the machining that's going on with that. So I have the flaps go about to here. They can actually go down just a little bit more. But there's not a big difference other than it's harder to pull that last notch when they're way down like that. And you have to be going before you can pull it 55 or 50 even. So you have to be on a really short stabilized approach. So I did change that ratchet out. I think that's approved. If anybody's wondering what that what this is, it's absolutely nothing. When it was an L21, it was the how you do the ground power to it, and I switched it out with that. So that's just there. There's where you put the smoke oil in. You undo these screws right here, and the smoke oil there's a tank in there just a little bit bigger than a battery, and it's sitting on the battery box. the battery is underneath the pilot's seat. The type of paint they used is subject to this cracking, and this is the only thing, and there's just a couple of these little cracks along here, and people have told me that that as long as it's not abused too much, it won't do that. But there's a little bit of cracking there, but otherwise I need to clean things up a little bit. And then the tail wheel, of course, is the T3 tail wheel from Airframes. It's really good with the baby bush wheel. I'll give you a fork for a regular size and a tire for it, and really anything I have laying around, I'll go. You got a little more cracking in that tail area right along here in the paint, and I don't, to be honest with you, I don't think the smoke going over it helps that back there, because it does get a little greasy back there from the smoke. But that's about the only real blemish that's going on with the whole thing. And like I said, it's dirty now because I flew it, and then I flew it last time and I didn't wipe any bugs, so it will get a little buggy. But here's a little bit of that cracking that's with that paint with that. But when you look, the flaps are slightly different color because the plane faded a little bit, but it doesn't, it's not a big deal with that. So when they put the flaps on, it was hard to match the faded paint with that. But aileron's all good. Everything works good there. Got that. Yeah, the Uni-Avion or whatever it is, that's mounted out there. That's for the ADS-B. So that's cool. These camera mounts are really good. They are RAM mounts, and I found that they are literally the best. I have a lot of different mounts, just boxes of them with all that. So if you ever have any questions on camera mounts, give me a call, shoot me an email with that. The tires, I had the lettering put on it because it looks cool with that. There's probably about 700 hours on those tires, with about 10% of those landings maybe on pavement, and the rest are grass with that. And they probably have another couple hundred hours on them with that, but they are literally the best thing that you can have, and no complaints with those at all. And then here's the AOSS shocks. They're not quite like the Acme. If I was keeping it, I would probably switch to the Acme shocks with that, because flying them on the FX3 it was amazing. The T3 tail wheel is equivalent to the Stinger, so I don't know if there wouldn't be any reason to change from a T3 to the Stinger. The prop was overhauled. There's no nicks really on it or anything. There's obviously some bugs on it with that. This lower, here's the oil cooler, and I cover that in the winter, and that's a lightweight oil cooler. And then of course that air filter is actually an automotive oil filter. It's cheaper, and I think it's approved with that. And but otherwise, and then the exhaust is a Atlee Dodge hot rod with that. When you look underneath here, Lycoming, of course, that's a B2B. I figured why not get the cylinder, chrome, with all that. But the heat is great with it, and that was a new carburetor too when they switched that out. So all the tubing is new. The exhaust tubing is new with that. So that's good. With that, the motor mount is even new. When I figured when we changed it, I was going to change all the whole ball of wax there with that. So everything, Firewall Ford has obviously been new really with the plane as after I bought it. Just the whole ball of wax is new up there with that from what I had. But On the inside, these are leather seats from Sport Aircraft Seats. The back seat's big, but you can't get, if you have any 250 pound 6'4" friends like I do, you're probably not going to be taking them for an airplane ride. You know, the stick goes way back in their beer belly, and it's not super great, big, roomy for them with all that. But and then of course you flat the window down, it goes a little, or window up, it goes a little slower. Put that there, you're all good with it. Oh yeah, there's this might be a little blemish. You probably should have had it fixed at annual, but there's a missing thing there with all that. And these move, so they end up with that little thing. But baggage is in the back. Let me show you that. And you put 50 pounds there, 20 pounds in the back. So that's 70 pounds basically behind that with everything. But I wouldn't, load it too much. That 20 pounds back for CG, if you have that smoke tank filled, that pretty much takes care of that with that, because that smoke oil is actually 8 pounds, over 8.5, 9 pounds a gallon with that. So when it sits back there, this for CG purposes, you don't want a bunch of stuff stuck back there. Although the CG with just the pilot, the 180 pound, 190 pound pilot is to the forward end of the envelope with no baggage, no person in the back there with it. So, but otherwise, no real. Well, there is a couple, but when you look at you can't have a Super Cub and not have a couple patches on the belly. So there's a couple little patches on the belly over there with that. I don't know if you can see that, but otherwise, it's safety cables and the whole 9 yards with that. You don't want to put yourself in a situation where you need safety cables, but they're there. Let's see, any other blemishes, anything weird? Now here's a little of the cracking right there. I don't know if you can see that little bit of cracking. That's common with this. I forget what type of paint it is. I'm sure I could look it up, but you can see it's got that little craze right there. But from a visual distance, you really don't see it unless the light is right. But that's about all of it in the fin and a little bit on the side there with that. But yeah, that's about all that I can see with the whole thing with it. It's been great for me for the last 12 years, and like I said, I'd keep it indefinitely. But got an FX3 that I broke down and bought one day. So, all right, signing out.